At only 18 years old, you've had such a versatile band of experience under your belt. During the last couple of years, you've dropped your debut EP and have had leading roles such as in ABC's The Rookie. When did you realize you had a talent for both acting and music, and how do you juggle those around 24/7? Because it sounds extremely tough to me.
I think before it was really hard to do all three. I started dancing when I was 4, and I did ballet class for maybe a week, and I would cry every time I went there. So then my mom put me in hip hop, and so I absolutely fell in love with hip hop, and just like, I don't know, the way I was learning just felt different from all of the other classes I ever taken. So overall, I started dancing when I was 4 and fell in love with it and started doing singing lessons when I was in 3rd grade. And, I knew LA was like where I was supposed to be. And I always hear those like Disney commercials like on the radio being like, if you want your kid to be a star on these shows, do this. And so we ended up signing up for it. And I got the chance to perform in front of agents and managers and stuff with acting, singing, and dancing. And so after that, I was like, this is what I really want to do. And so we moved to LA 2015, officially in 2017. And yeah, it's just been a dream since then.
Where did the hip hop come from?
Hip hop.
Does your family, are people into hip hop in your family?
No, so my family is not in the industry at all. My grandpa actually was a director and a producer a long time ago. So maybe the acting came from that, but dancing or singing, no one in my family like was ever interested in that. And my family was really into, horses and, going to rodeos and stuff. So overall, I was like not into sports and fell in love with these specific things, and my parents were just super down for it.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
Do you think your grandpa had an influence on kind of like the direction you're going in, or really just happened to be what it was based on the things you did?
I think it happened to be what it was. I also believe that was really young to understand what my grandpa did.
Yeah, always.
So when I got in the industry, my mom kind of already knew what to do because her dad was doing it when she was young. And so, over time, like, he is someone that I talk to about it now. And, like, we can relate to that on a certain level.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super good. Oh my God, it's like someone to talk to afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 2, I guess it kind of goes along with what you're saying. But what influence did growing up in California, or in rural California, have on your passions and all the work that you're doing now?
Yeah.
How does that affect how you go about doing what you do?
So when I started dancing, there was a certain like way of saying what kind of hip hop. And if you said like you were dancing in the Bay Area, people would know what kind of hip hop that was. And so that's also another thing why I find it really hard to come to classes here, because it's the dance classes here are different from what I learned from the Bay Area. And, I think that's a big influence on when I'm on stage now, because now I can like hit little movements and like, still put on a show while also staying completely intact because I'm singing. But I think my parents would always play country music on the radio. And I learned not that long ago that they did that because it was PG-13. And we were kids. So my dad would always play it in the car, and I liked it until I heard it 24/7, and then I just like hated it out of nowhere. And then I moved to LA and I fell back in love with country music.
Absolutely nothing wrong with country music.
I know.
I feel like definitely people don't listen to it here that often, but
Yeah.
honestly, there's a lot of great messages.
Yeah, I love
It's
country music.
Sincere.
Yeah.
Completely sincere.
Yeah, I think that's definitely benefited like the way that I write my music is because of that, is because of all the country music I've listened to.
No focus on like the tech when I'm listening. It's always like whatever's like.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
and I think it's like the live sounds. I love live instruments, and I think I learned a lot from country music.
I'm obsessed with your ability to be so incredibly vulnerable within your lyrics. Completely. At such a young age, is it harder for you to dive deep like this And how does songwriting give you an opportunity to express yourself that acting may not?
Interesting.
I can go over it again if you want.
I use music as a way to express my feelings, and I think that's something that acting for me doesn't quite do. With music, I can write how I feel. When it comes to the end of the day, at the end of the day, I am not good at saying how I feel or being completely honest. I kind of just hold it in. And right when I get in that studio and I start writing with, my co-writers, it's like I feel like weight is coming off my shoulders. I feel like I'm expressing these feelings in a different way. And I also think that I can, make people understand what I'm saying with music. And when it comes to acting, I can leave my life and I can play a different character with her own feelings and her own thoughts. And I can play that character, and it's kind of an escape that when I do come back, I'm back to my feelings. So music lets me express those feelings that I can't quite get out.
This past summer, you headed your first headlining tour with solid outstops in Los Angeles, New York City, and London. What was a tour prep and performing like for you?
Touring. It was definitely a learning curve just because I am with my family 24/7. I'm with my friends a lot of times out of the 24/7. And being away from them was definitely really hard. But as I learned is I'm traveling the world, and I'm so lucky to be traveling the world and performing in front of a bunch of people. And right when I get on that stage, it feels like a big, huge family hug from the crowd. And I kind of just forget that, the problems that I'm dealing with today when I'm on stage, it's just like everything just floats away. And I'm just in this moment.
Great escape.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it is.
Great
That's
escape.
amazing. Additionally, this year you released I Miss You with Skin to Skin, co-written with legendary producer Max Martin, who has worked with the likes of The Weeknd, Justin Timberlake, Pink, Britney Spears, Taylor Swift. What was it like collaborating with him?
Pretty insane, I would say. Just because it was my second time writing with the people that I was writing with the day before. And so I showed up there and they were like, "Oh, have you guys met?" And I was like, "No." And he shook my hand. He was like, "I'm Max." And I was like, "I'm Dylan." And I don't think it really crossed my mind. And I went upstairs and my co-writer was like, "Isn't that really cool? You just met Max Martin, on your second day." And I was just like, "I'm sorry. That was Max Martin." I think I was just just went over my head. And when I realized that was Max Martin, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane." And he came into that session a couple hours later and helped us with the song I Miss You. And I feel like every time I see him and he comes in a session, I feel like I'm learning, and I definitely think I've learned and grown a lot, working with him.
Who else in the music industry, whether producers or artists, would you like to work with one day? In a dream world, who would you want to open for your next tour?
Very, very hard question. Growing up, I've always listened to Rascal Flatts, and absolutely love Rascal Flatts and love Gary. And I think a dream of mine is to be able to have a song with Gary or be able to write a song with Gary. And that's always been a dream. And I actually DM'd him, but I'm waiting for a response. So Gary, if you're watching this, look at my DM. Anyways, I think a person that I would want to open up for would be, I think, Justin Bieber. I've always been a Justin Bieber fan since day one, and the way that he performs on stage with the vocals and the dancing, and that's really how I want to put my live shows together one day. And I think that would just be a dream of mine to open up for.
What role does TikTok play in your life as a rising artist?
In the beginning, I had a love-hate relationship with TikTok. And now I think I've finally found a way to express myself and, show people who I am. And I feel like Instagram has always been really hard to do that because I've always felt like a need to post a picture that I always look good in. And I would admit to this day that like Instagram can feel very competitive, and going to TikTok, when I'm just scrolling on TikTok and I see like funny videos and I see people, you know, teasing their music, I just think it's a really cool social media platform, and I love being able to tease music and surprise people. It's amazing. So I love TikTok. I also love making TikToks with my friends, so always down for that.
I want to, like I really want to. Like I live with Ahmad here, and I'm always talking about how we should just start a TikTok. And just
You
do
should.
stuff between like.
Just random stuff. I'm telling you, it'll blow up. That's what I love about TikTok, is like, it's not like who you follow is all you see.
Yeah.
It's, you see new faces every day, and it's like random videos that
Most
don't have the
random thing
perfect
ever.
lighting, that
Yeah.
don't have the perfect sound, but they still blow up because they're funny or the music sounds great.
What would be after TikTok for you if TikTok wasn't cutting it? What do you think would be another type of platform? I mean, do you have like an idea of a platform that maybe would come after TikTok, or do you think?
I don't know. A part of me feels like TikTok's gonna be around for a long time, but I would love to get into Snapchat more. I like have so many funny videos of my friends that like I just get nervous of posting, because it's another thing. It's like I feel like if I show who I am, that some people might dislike me, but I don't know. I feel like I should just post those videos. They're so funny, and I want to be more active on Snapchat and Instagram, of course, just to show everything my whole life.
I haven't been on Snapchat.
It's funny. I love Snapchat. It's
Okay.
the first app I go to.
And begin to think about 2023. What can we expect from you, Dylan?
2023. In 2023 are going to be very exciting things. I am actually working on an EP, which I'm excited about, and you know, thinking about going on the road again, because I've just fell in love with being on the road, and I love seeing people's faces, and I'm excited for 2023. I think it's going to be a great year, and I'm excited for the sound that I found. It's just going to be amazing overall.